Okay, this is an early disclaimer. These next two films are definitely not for kids, uh, but especially this one that we're gonna show a scene from. Turn away if you're somewhat squeamish. It's not like gory or anything. It's just really really weird, and I know some people get freaked out about that. So, disclaimer before we even start the show. But here we go.
I believe the visions cause the tumor and not the reverse. I can feel the visions coalesce and become flesh. Uncontrollable flesh. But when they removed the tumor, it was called Videodrome. I was Videodrome's first victim. Who's behind it? What do they want?
I want you, Max. You. Come to me. Come to me. Come on. Don't make me wait.
No, make her wait, make her wait.
Please.
Jimmy. That's beta video.
I want you, Max. You. Come on. Come on. Come to me now. Come to me. Don't keep me waiting. Please. Please.
Yeah, that's where I'm gonna pause it right there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new little sidecast to the Way We Nerds Mothership Show, and this one is similar to Dan's deep dives, but this one is called the Random Double Dip. And basically, what this is I'm just gonna pick two random movies, and I'm gonna talk about them. They're not usually gonna be related, but they might have maybe one thing in common. In this case, it's two movies that are deemed too quirky by the contemporary critics. Two movies separated by nearly 40 years of cinema, but both box office flops, both critical failures. However, this one, the older one, has been reassessed in later years and been deemed a classic of its genre, which is body horror. This is David Cronenberg's 1983 classic, Videodrome. David Cronenberg is a odd duck. He makes a lot of movies similar to this. His most famous, The Fly, which I love. That's another body horror movie. And if you want to look up body horror, you should to get the right definition. But basically, it's horror movies involving scary body stuff. Megan Fox's now well-reviewed classic, Jennifer's Body, written by Diablo Cody. That movie is fantastic. You should go revisit it. It's so much better than what it was marketed as, because that's not the right movie that they marketed. So anyway, go watch Jennifer's Body. There's another one called Teeth, about vagina dentata. Look that up because I'm not going to explain it. And also there is another good example is The Thing by one of my favorite directors of all time, John Carpenter, from the 1981, I believe, The Thing came out with Kurt Russell. That's another body horror classic. Now this one, Videodrome, is by David Cronenberg, as I just said, and he is considered like one of the masters of body horror with The Fly, and also there was another one called Existence, which came out about the same time as The Matrix, with kind of a similar, not exactly the same kind of story, but similar kind of story, and but just with a lot of weird Cronenbergian style stuff. And a lot of people would say, that was his last classic. Even though I think I've liked a couple of his other ones that have been since then. But this is very early Cronenberg. This is after his movie Scanners, which is also a body horror movie. That one's a little more famous. That's the one where the people think and they blow their heads up. Just by thinking. And anyway, this one, though, Videodrome, is starring a very young James Woods, and in a great performance, as well as Blondie's Deborah Harry, or Debbie Harry, as she is more popularly known, the singer of the rock group Blondie, which I think I just said twice. Anyway, this movie is weird. It's very, very weird, but I really enjoyed it. The first time I saw it, which was recently, actually, I think it was on sale on Vudu, and it was one of those, I like David Cronenberg, I like James Woods, so I bought it. And old Jimmy gives a great, like I said, a fantastic performance in this. And this is one of the more milder scenes. That's the thing about it. Like, I was looking through all the scenes that I wanted to show, and I don't think any of them I should show on a YouTube show. I would definitely have to mark that thing that this is not for anybody under 18 if I did. There is a scene, and I'm going to give this away. There's a scene where, well, let me give you the premise. The premise basically is James Woods plays a manager of a UHF station, TV station. If you guys don't know what UHF is, all you kids go look it up. That's the way your parents and some of your grandparents watch television with the antennas, because they didn't have cable. Luckily, I had cable most of my life. But I remember these antenna TVs. And he stumbles on a signal that shows snuff films. And in a snuff film, is basically an adult film where someone gets murdered. Usually they're not real. Every once in a while they are, unfortunately. And this one is about one's, well, we don't know. I don't want to give away the mystery, So, however, it starts going through videotape, hence the title Videodrome. And they use beta in this over VHS, and beta was actually, and VHS were competing formats in the 80s, and VHS won out. VHS Kids is Video Home. I don't know what the S stands for, but they were VCRs, video cassette recorders, and that's where we played our movies on these big black things that had the reels in it, and they had the actual film in it. So anyway, there's a scene where James Woods puts a videotape literally into a slot in his stomach, so he becomes the VCR, and it's all about these people, like the way, basically it was an allegory saying that TV's rotting our brains, the way now we talk about YouTube rotting our brains. Hi YouTube, but it doesn't. And TV didn't rot our brains either. It's most of us were strong enough to withstand the ruining of ourselves part. Anyway, Videodrome, I think, is a fantastic flick. You should definitely all check out if you like body horror, if you like David Cronenberg, if you like James Wood, if you like the rock band Blondie. All these good reasons. Check it out. You may enjoy it. Okay? So, that movie came out in 1983. Our next movie came out in 2022, nearly 40 years later. And that one also was considered too quirky for some out there, the contemporary critics. And maybe few years from now it'll be reevaluated. I think it will be, because I really enjoy it. And it's this flick right here.
I didn't come all the way over here to be talked to like a damn dog.
It's a crime against the flag. I don't think they have the ability to possess the admiration or the confidence to wear the uniform.
What are we talking about? When these crackers get in my way, I'm gonna shoot them in the back.
Well, when don't you even like this even more?
I'm done talking to you.
You'll never be done talking to me.
That's enough, Sergeant.
Yes, sir, General Meekins.
You don't need to be involved anymore. Attitude doesn't help. That's why we're going to bring you on as a medical officer, Bernstein.
Bernstein, sir.
I'm sorry. This is Mr. Woodman. We got a situation here that I thought you might be able to help with.
What situation, sir?
Mr. Woodman, why don't you tell them why you're here in the stockade?
Why are we in a stockade?
Insubordination.
Were you insubordinate?
Yes.
Why?
They gave us Jim Crow officers like that knucklehead. But we refused to continue until they replaced them with somebody good.
Someone decent, respectful.
Is that supposed to be me, sir?
That is you, Bernstein.
I mean, the people you meet in these circumstances of tremendous stress are bonded to you for life.
Are you the kind of doctor that's gonna leave me bleeding out and I'll have to shoot in the back? Because let me tell you, the officers that they had, they didn't care whether we lived or died.
I'm not going to let anybody bleed out, and I do not want to get shot in the back. I am the son of a mechanic from Elmira. I am married. I am half Catholic, half Jewish. I am a doctor. I have a practice on Park Avenue, and I think that my in-laws sent me here to get rid of me.
Well, that all sounds pretty good, except that in-laws part, but maybe that's why I can trust you. So we'll make a pact. You see to it that we won't die, and I'll make sure you won't get killed.
We'll look out for each other.
Harold Thaddeus Woodman,
Bertram Berenson,
welcome to the 369.
thank you.
Finally, that's what I've been looking for, just some respect. Now let's go deal with this unfortunate uniform situation.
Yeah, let's go deal with this uniform shit.
Okay, so as I said, this movie was critically derided. It did not do well in the box office. And looking at just part of this cast, which doesn't even include the whole cast, which includes also Margot Robbie and a few others, and it's directed by David O. Russell, how did this movie do so poorly in both critical and box office? I honestly don't know. Yeah, the story gets kind of crazy. You know, some would say convoluted is a word that critics love to use. But I followed it just fine. I knew what was going on the whole time. I was never lost. And, I mean, seriously, look at the cast. Chris Rock, you know, Ed Begley Jr., Christian Bale, and I think one of the best young actors working today, John David Washington, the son of the legend Denzel Washington, if you couldn't tell from his voice, because they have the same voice. However, they're not the same actor. John David is a fantastic actor in his own right. And he has a lot to live up to, obviously, because Denzel's one of my favorites. Denzel's one of a lot of people's favorites. The dude's an icon. But John David has carved out a nice little career for himself already early on, and with the was it Black KKK Klansman, or oh my god, I can't believe I forgot the title. And then the one with the Christopher Nolan movie, which you know was kind of weird, and that one was really confusing, but he was awesome in it. You know, so is it a Black Klansman? Good Lord. How can I not remember the movie? I think it's Black Klansman. Anyway, so Amsterdam, 2022. You know, I mean, I guess David O. Russell's got kind of a, you know, controversy surrounding him because it turns out that he's a yeller and screamer and not a nice guy on set, which we've known for a very, very long time. That video with Lily Tomlin came out a long, long time ago. You know, but people keep working with him over and over again. Even people that he obviously has rows with. You know, he supposedly got in a fist fight with George Clooney on Three Kings. But the man knows how to make a movie. Like, he's a really good filmmaker. And I'm sorry if I've missed anything else that's made him, you know, it's come out about him that maybe he's a worse human being than just yelling at people on set. But, you know, James Cameron isn't a nice guy on set either, but he's a fantastic filmmaker, and most people love working with him because he's a genius. I think he's gotten better over the years. I don't think he does as much anymore. But anyway, I really enjoyed Amsterdam. You know, I thought it was really funny. And I was, you know, I followed the twists and turns. There might have been a little bit too many. But, you know, and Chris Rock was a little underused. But he's always underused. Like, the funny thing about Chris Rock is most of his movies where he's the star in, they're okay, but because he's in it. But I mean, they don't really blow any doors down, but he's always great when he's, part of an ensemble. He always sticks out. He's awesome in that Hulu show, Fargo, he's kind of having a resurgence ever since, Will Smith slapped him. Not resurgence. I mean, he's always been popular, but his show sold out much quicker during that time. I still think he would rather not have been slapped, but, because he was doing just fine. But I love Chris Rock so much, Christian Bale, I've been following him since Newsies. No, so I'm sorry, since Empire of the Sun, Steven Spielberg's movie where he was a 10-year-old boy in World War II. Where was he? I think he was in China? Tokyo? I think he was in Tokyo. I don't know where he was, but he was somewhere in the Asian Pacific because... Anyway, we're not talking about Empire of the Sun. That'll be when we get to Steven Spielberg's on that other show that I was on, that I've been doing. So, Amsterdam. Give it a shot. Here's the thing about me and movie critics. I wish the profession didn't exist. I won't lie. I all the way back to art critiquing. I don't like that there's a profession where people are hired to trash other people's artwork, because they can't do it themselves, and they're obviously not good enough to teach it either. So they trash it in print or on videos. And I'm not a movie critic. I'm a movie lover. It's one of those things that I can find good in almost every movie, and you will very, very rarely hear me say something is terrible or bad or garbage, because I'm not going to trash somebody else's work. I'm not going to do that. That's not fun for me. That might be fun for other people, and that does sell, clicks, because bad news always sells clicks, so why wouldn't bad reviews sell clicks? People love watching other people bash other people's things. I'm not that way, So I like this movie, and I'm not just saying that because I like every movie, which I've been accused of, because I will tell you when I think a movie's bad, but at the same time, I also will show you why, what maybe the filmmakers were going for, and make you understand that not everybody has to enjoy it, but you might. So form your own opinion, don't go to the Rotten Tomatoes score, because that's not truth. Don't go to that. Okay? If you want to pick one favorite reviewer that you connect with, that I like, because I always like watching Siskel and Ebert, even if I don't always agree with them. I liked watching them. So that is fine. But don't look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. Rotten Tomatoes is eh. I used to like it, but now I'm just eh. Okay? So that's my soapbox. I'm going to get off now because I don't want to talk about, I don't want to rip on critics and bloggers and all that stuff because I'm trying to be one of them. But because I want to talk about my love for movies. I love movies so, so, so much. I've watched nearly 4,000 of them in my lifetime. That's where the count's at, or near there. But go watch Amsterdam if you like any of those actors that I told you, or if you like David O. Russell films, it's just, or if you like, this funny capers. It feels like an old school screwball comedy caper from the 20s and 30s and 40s, but yeah. So anyway, this has been Random Double Dips, powered by the Way We Nerd. I am Dan Villalobos. We will see you next time when we talk about 2 other random movies. Also, check out my other stuff on Spielberg and the Dan's Deep Dives. All right. See y'all later. Bye.